Yo, what is going on, guys? It's C-Breb. Welcome to another MLB The Show 20 video. In this one, we're going to give you an updated, comprehensive guide to beating Showdown. Now, my video on completing Team Affinities via Showdown has gotten a lot of views, and I want to apologize to you guys. That video was made more so to put the method out there and let you guys know how easy it is to get Team Affinities done through Showdown. Rather than actually how to beat Showdown. And since that video has been posted, I've had a lot of people saying they're struggling, a lot of people asking me for tips on how to actually beat the game mode to make it so you can get the rewards. So my apologies, that wasn't addressed in the first video. I honestly was doing my best to get it out ASAP before someone else did. So I hope you can understand. Hopefully this video is a good makeup for you guys. Additionally, I'm going to be doing a separate video for every single one of the 6 divisions on how to beat them more specifically as well. This video is going to be a little bit more of a comprehensive guide, overarching guide, some tips that you can use regardless of which division you're in, and then those videos will be more specific. And I'm going to try to bust out 2 of those a day for the next 3 days, so hopefully 3 days from now they will all be posted. So let's get into it. First off, to address something, it seems like a lot of people are kind of afraid of doing the slow method. If you haven't seen my video on this, it'll be in the description below, by the way, but I just want to say doing the slow method is not a bad thing at all, and I'm actually going to give you guys a much more efficient way of doing the slow method, maybe help you analyze what you can and can't do. Doing the slow method helps a lot, even if you do it quickly. Doing the slow method quickly, it'll give you some runs, it'll give you better players, it'll give you better perks. You're going to have a better time. If you're failing a lot, just do the slow method. I know it kind of sucks when you see other people just skipping to the end and beating it, but the slow method will work. So I already have this AL Central loaded up for you guys, and if you didn't know, you can stop these and come back to them, and all these little rectangles at the top are your stored Showdown runs that you haven't completed yet, but that you did start. So I haven't done this one. I skipped to the end for the AL Central, but I have it open so we can kind of go over some things. So question I've been getting a lot: how can you fail, or when do you fail in Showdown? The only way you fail in Showdown is if you lose to one of these mini bosses or the final boss battle. So any of these blue moments in the middle, if you lose them, you're not gonna fail, you're gonna be totally fine. So also, as far as I know, these mini bosses are the same moment with the same pitcher every time. AL Central might be different because AL Central is the only division where the final boss actually changes that I'm aware of, which is super weird. I don't know if they developed it first or what. Anyway, let's go over how to do these slow missions, how to do them most effective, and then we'll talk about beating the final boss battle. So another upside to doing this the slow way is you actually get stubs and XP that you otherwise do not get from skipping to the end. And this is actually going to be super huge for your no money spent guys out there like I am, and I'm actually kind of upset that I haven't been doing this so far. If you notice what you get from beating these mini bosses, it's pretty crazy. Show Pack 700 stubs, 2000 XP. Show Pack 700 stubs, 3000 XP. So from the 2 mini bosses in total, you're getting 5000 XP, which is exactly equivalent to the final boss battle, and you're getting 1400 stubs. So one of my suggestions to y'all, if you're struggling with skipping to the end, do a slow method. That'll get you 1400 stubs from these mini bosses, even if you lose at the end, which it should help a lot. Beating the last boss when you do the slow method. Then you can roll those 1400 stubs over into another run where you skip right to the end, and if you lose 1000 stubs, but you had already gained 1400 stubs from doing it the slow way. So my advice for y'all that are struggling is to do one run the slow way, then skip to the end on one run and try it, do one run the slow way, and just alternate that way. I think it's really efficient. Also, this is going to be something that I'm going to start doing. If you are doing the fast way, I'm actually going to stop and do these mini bosses. So it's going to be a little slower than just skipping all the way to the end, but I think it's incredibly worth it. You don't actually get any runs from these bosses, so you're still going to be down 15-0 in the final boss battle, but the stubs, the XP, the pack, I think is super worth. and you actually will get a little bit of a boost in terms of perks and players from these mini bosses. Also, these mini bosses, I hate saying this because I don't want to offend anyone, but these mini bosses, even if you go into it with no help, you should be able to win. Down 2-0 with 15 outs. Man, that's an easy one. Down 4-0 with 20 outs. You got if you lose that one, that's tough, bro. I'm just gonna be honest, but I hope this is helping you guys. We're also going to bust into a run, walk through everything, the draft process, etc. But just want to finish up talking about these moments. In my opinion, I don't know if these first 3 are worth it at all. So I'm going to be talking about skipping these little moments, and how you can do that is just by going into it and then quitting right away, and that'll actually progress you to the next little moment without skipping ahead or without you losing the run. So only do that on the blue moments. Obviously the red moment you will lose on, but like these first 3 moments don't give you hardly any stubs, hardly any XP, and they only give you silvers for players, and one of these is a bronze perk. So if you really need the runs at the end, try to knock these out, because it will give you 3 runs, make it 15-3 at least when you get to the final boss. But for me personally, I'm going to be skipping these. So you load in, quit, load in, quit, load in, quit, and then you get to the first mini boss, and here's where you can nab a gold player and a gold perk. So this is really good. This will help you a lot. And then once you get past the first mini boss, these moments start to get a little better. So you notice, maybe skip this one, but silver batter gold perk, live series gold, and a gold perk as well. These are now giving 750 XP each instead of 300 XP each, which is over twice as much. So I think these are good. Obviously, like I said, if you need as many runs as possible, if you're struggling that badly, make sure you are doing each of these, and if you fail these, it's okay, just move on. Then you get to this mini boss battle, which is super worth, and you're gonna get a diamond player and a gold perk, which will help a lot. And then these final 3 moments I would actually do. Some of them are gonna be pretty hard, obviously it's by design, but you're getting 1,000 XP per moment, which is actually higher XP than like some of the actual legitimate moments under the moment screen. Pretty crazy way to get XP now that I've looked farther into it. And this last one right before the boss can actually get you 2 runs instead of 1, and if you win, you'll get a diamond player and a diamond perk. So this one as well, diamond player, diamond perk, but only 1 run. So these are super worth, in my opinion. Just to summarize, if you need help but you think you're okay enough where if you get just a little bit of help you can beat the final boss battle, my suggestion, the route I would take, is to quit all 3 of these first moments, beat the first mini boss, quit this moment, maybe play out these 2 if you really want the boost and the XP, then play this mini boss, and then play all 3 of these final moments, because they will help your team a lot if you win, and you will also get a lot of XP if you win. And that should help you get a little bit of a boost going into the final boss. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hop into a draft, and we're going to talk about drafting, some strategies and stuff like that I did not address as in depth in the original video. So when you're drafting, it's important to understand who you're going to be facing in the final boss battle. I did say in the original video to draft pitching sometimes if you are going to do the slow way, and I am changing my mind on that now that I have played. The only moments that you can get eliminated on are the boss battles, and all of the boss battles are hitting only, so definitely prioritize hitters over anything. If you lose a mini moment because of pitching, that sucks, but the goal is to beat the bosses, and the bosses are hitting only. So having a proper draft is understanding who your bosses are going to be that you're going to be facing, specifically the final boss battle in the end. So from my testing, I'm a little unsure on the NL West and the NL East, so take that with a grain of salt. But like I said, I'm going to be posting a divisional guide for each of these, but every division except for AL Central has the same ending boss from what I've seen. So AL East, the final boss is Garrett Cole. AL West, the final boss is Justin Verlander. NL East, the final boss is Jacob deGrom. NL Central is Josh Hader, and NL West is Walker Buehler. Now, like I said, NL West, NL East might be someone different. I've only played these 2 or 3 times, but in my experience so far, I've only gotten Buehler for the West, and I've only gotten deGrom for the East. So this is important when drafting, to know the handedness of the pitcher that you're going to face in the final boss battle. so that you can draft your team accordingly. Now, AL Central is really weird. There's 3 potential ending bosses, and so that one's a lot tougher. I think this is the hardest division to do for sure, because you can't really predict anything until you get in there. However, if you notice, there's a little tiger symbol in this one that I am in right now, and it actually showed up before I skipped to the end as well. So once you finish your draft, it'll tell you what pitcher you're facing at the end. So even though there's 3 options, those being Tigers Verlander, Royals Greinke, and White Sox Chris Sale for the AL Central, you can figure out which one you're pitching as soon as the draft is over. So when you are doing these moments and getting player upgrades, you can then fix your team that way. So that's a little bit of a boost. I don't know why the AL Central is the way that it is. It's super weird. But let's go ahead and hop into an NL Central draft, and we'll talk about what we're... do I want to do the Central? Let's do the East. So let's hop into AL East, and we'll look at a draft. So we know going in that the AL East final boss battle is going to be Garrett Cole, which means we're going to be only looking for hitters and only looking for people that are good at hitting against righties. So here it looks like the play is David Ortiz pretty clearly. Judge is an option as well. He may help you with the slow way, with the fielding. You could definitely make an argument for Judge here, but I think the 75 vision as opposed to 26 vision will help most of you guys. So we'll go with David Ortiz, but you want to be going through this draft with in mind who you're facing at the very end. So obviously Stanton is the play here. This is always a pitcher round. Take a little more care with this as you progress if you're doing the slow way. So we'll take this guy because he's the best pitcher. Now we're going to be looking for hitters again. You could take Urshela. I've had very good experience with Brandon Lau as well. And it seems kind of silly that I'm talking through this draft, but it's important for when we get to the bronze rounds. So we'll go ahead and take Trey Mancini. Also, if you're doing the slow way, you can't play people out of position in the moments where you have to play defense, so keep that in mind. But if you're doing the slow way, you will get more player upgrades than what you get from this draft. So here's a bronze round. So the bronze rounds are important to talk about. We'll talk about perks when we get there as well. But the bronze rounds are important because sometimes you'll get a bronze round with 3 pitchers and 1 hitter. And if that 1 hitter is not someone that can help you, then it's really important to not pick him and to pick a pitcher instead, because what happens is when you get to the end of the Showdown draft, it will autofill your roster with bronzes that were not in your draft pool, or guys that you didn't take. So if you take a guy that doesn't actually help you in a bronze round, you're actually taking up a spot that could have been auto-filled that you could have gotten lucky on and gotten a better bronze in that spot. So if you don't see a bronze that you like, just take a pitcher and get out of there, because it will get auto-filled with potentially someone better. So that's a little niche tip for you guys. Zanino is really good for this, so we'll take him. Here's another bronze round where we get Tauchman. I don't know how to say this guy's name. Yankees fans roast me in the comments. Great against righties, so we'll take him. And here's a bronze round. We did get Mike Ford and Yandy Diaz, who are both really good. So we actually high-rolled hitters this round. But if we were, let's say this Kevin Padlo was the only guy we could take for a hitter, we would just take a pitcher instead, because it's going to put a different bronze hitter in our bench instead of him. So we'll go Mike Ford. So perks. Again, I would try to only go for perks that help you in the boss battles. And in the boss battles, you are always hitting and you are always losing. So that makes Heart Attack the best perk in the game, which is the one that gives you slight contact boost while losing. There's also several other ones that I'm going to attempt to name off the top of my head that are really good for this. So Rattled is good. Off the Radar, I think it's called, that gives you a contact boost on pitches just out of the zone. Let's see. Defibrillator is good. This gives you contact boosts on 0-0, 1-1, and 2-2 counts. Pretty much anything that gives you a contact boost in a situation that you will see a decent amount of time is a good perk. So you want to avoid stuff like Clear for Takeoff, exit velocity boost on normal swings and full counts. That's incredibly specific and it's not going to help you much. Also, When It Rains is the worst perk for this because it only works when you're winning, and you're never going to be winning in these final boss battles until you have actually won. So this is the lowest of rolls of perks. Let's see what other perks are good. There's some, I think one's called Oppo Taco and the other one's called Inside Info. These help you with contact boosts on inside and outside pitches with runners on base, and then Inner Piece is going to give you a contact boost on pitches down the middle. That one's not as great, but it still works if it's your only option. So looking at perks, only go for hitting ones, and the best ones are when you're losing or that give you some contact boost that you can use a lot of the time. So we have to go clear for takeoff here because When It Rains is completely useless. So that was the worst perk round I've seen in a while. And we got another really bad one. So these perks are terrible, but I just wanted to talk to you guys and kind of talk you through a draft. So make sure you equip your perks, and then just to show you, we'll do a slow way, we'll do some cuts in the video, and we'll end up beating Garrett Cole at the end. I'll try to talk through it as I go, and maybe give you guys some updates on what's happening, the decisions I'm making and stuff like that. So this is a long video. If you're gonna make it this far, drop a like, it helps me a lot. I really appreciate you being here for this long. I hope it's helping you guys. I know this has been highly requested, and I would love to help you guys with this. So what's gonna happen, I'm gonna skip these first 3 moments because I don't think they're worth my time. I don't need the 3 runs. We're gonna jump right into this first boss battle, and then we're gonna just keep rolling. So gonna be a lot of cuts, but I'll talk you through what I'm going through, and then we'll see you guys at the final boss battle. This man has 3 fastballs and a slider. Marcus Walden, what in the world? Alright, so we did actually beat the first moment. I was loading into it to quit, but I realized the moment was just get 2 strikeouts, and I think it's on rookie or veteran, so super easy, super quick. So just to give you guys an update, we are going to be getting a silver because of that, and we're going to take Hunter Renfroe. I should mention, as you progress along in these moments and you're getting player upgrades, you should always be focusing on improving your roster for the final boss battle and for the mini bosses as well. And remember that in those they are hitting only, and you can play people out of position. So make sure you're changing your squad back to as many good hitters as you can when you get to these mini bosses, and changing them back to people in correct positions when you're doing the mini moments. So when you get to the final boss, it's still hitting only, so just get the best hitters that you can find. You also want to make sure as you're getting new perks that you're equipping them. You can have 3 perks at a time, and perks do actually stack. So if you got lucky and you wanted to, you could run the silver, gold, and diamond versions of a perk, and you would get triple the bonuses for whatever it gives you. So gold or silver, gold, diamond, heart attack is like the dream. Alright, so we beat the second moment too. All it was scoring 1 run and getting 2 hits in the first inning, so very easy. I'm doing a bad job of showing you guys skipping through the initial moments, but they've just been so easy. They're like too juicy to pass up. I don't know if they're always this easy, but we end up getting a pitch around here, so maybe skipping the second one. I don't know if it's the same every time, but maybe skipping the second one is the move because we can't do much with the pitcher, and we get a bronze perk that we can't use as a reward. So I think it shows you on the bottom what you'll get. Yeah, this literally says silver AL East pitcher, so I would absolutely skip the second moment if you can. Not gonna get a whole lot of that. Let's see what this one is. Score 2 runs and not allowing a run in 2 innings. So 2 innings is too long for me, so we're just gonna quit out of this and go into the final boss, or the mini boss. Alright, so we get the scary better luck next time screen, and we get the scary red X on the moment, but as you can see, we are not eliminated. You only get eliminated on boss moments. I cannot stress this enough. I've been asked this question probably tens of times from people, which is fair. I did not address it in the first video. So we're gonna hop into the mini moment. Again, as far as I know, the pitchers and the moments for these mini bosses stay the same every single showdown run, except for maybe the AL Central is different. Don't know yet. That division is very weird. I don't know why. But we're down 3-0 with 12 outs, and we got to come back on Charlie Morton. So mini bosses literally tell you who the pitcher is. So once again, they're hitting only. Make sure you go back into your lineup, put your best hitters available to you in your lineup, out of position if you can. This lineup's actually insane. And make sure you have one guy on the bench to pinch hit for your pitcher as well. And then when you get done with the mini boss, be sure to go back into your lineup and put people back in position. So we're going to take on this Charlie Morton here. One thing of note is if you are getting towards the end of these boss battles and you have the winning run on base, it's pretty smart to pinch run for that winning run if you can. And if you don't think that spot of the order will get back around before the boss battle ends. So you can see I have the winning run on second here. He can't be forced out, so we're just going to pinch run for him because if that guy scores, the boss battle is over anyway. Alright, so we went ahead and beat Charlie Morton, the first mini boss for the AL East. Giancarlo Stanton, the MVP. Let's back out of here and see where we're at. I apologize if my face cam has been covering stuff too. I didn't realize I was on the scene where it's so big. So hopefully it hasn't been covering up important things. It doesn't look like it has, which is good. Alright, so we beat the moment. We get some rewards. Again, we're going to be facing Garrett Cole at the end. So Gardner is the move here because he's the best versus righties. We are also looking at gold perks here. Jumpstart is a good one that I forgot to mention earlier. Gives you a boost on the first pitch, so we'll equip that. We're also going to stack it. As you can see, they stack, and that moves us on to these other mini moments. I would probably skip this one because it gives you a pitcher, so we're going to do that. Again, you can skip them by loading in and then quitting right away. This will not eliminate you. This one gives a batter and a player, and then we'll end up at the next mini boss. So I'll probably see you guys at the next mini boss. Again, remember, once the boss battle is over, make sure you are putting people back in their proper position because sometimes you will play defense in those mini moments. And we're gonna leave Mancini in. Alright, so we quit out of this one. This one is against Ken Giles. We're down 2-0 in the bottom of the 8th. I'm probably gonna play this one. You get 2 innings to hit and 1 inning to pitch, and you got to make up 2 runs, so seems like a good one to me. And once again, doing these small moments helps so much for you no money spent guys out there, because you do accumulate a little bit of stubs and a lot of XP on these little moments that you don't get when you skip to the very end. So we actually failed these last 2 moments. It's alright. It happens. Everyone loses moments. We're on to the boss battle. So this is going to be against Chris Sale. Down 3-0 with 10 outs. So once again, we're going to go to our squad. We're going to formulate the best lineup we can, and this time we're facing a lefty. So it's going to be a little tougher actually, because we did draft to face Garrett Cole at the end. So we have Jose Martinez we can plug in. This Mandy Alvarez is also decent against lefties. But overall, I think we're okay, aside from maybe Travis Shaw. We'll get Shaw out of there for Alvarez, and we'll call it good. Stanton and Zunino hit bombs. We take down Chris Sale. We also get a show pack, 3,000 XP and 700 stubs. Gonna reiterate it again. Doing these mini bosses is incredibly efficient for XP and stubs for you no money spent guys. And we land ourselves in the diamond round, where we land on 92 Jason Giambi, which is an amazing pull for us. Once again, facing Garrett Cole at the end. That's going to be huge. And we also get diamond jump start. Should we triple up on the jump start? I actually think defibrillator is probably better. It's good to take pitches in the final boss battle, as we'll go over. Significant contact boost when behind in the count is just great synergy with being patient at the plate. So we're going to go with defibrillator. But we get a diamond player and a diamond perk from that second mini boss, which is huge for us. And depending on how we perform in these next 3 moments, our team could be looking pretty juicy. So we're going to go ahead and equip that diamond perk. That's looking good. I think these moments are showing lower XP and stubs than they were before I hopped in, so that's kind of a bit of a bummer. Maybe that's a visual glitch. Maybe the AL Central's a little bit different. But we're still going to do them. They could help us a lot. If we beat all of them, it's still 1,000 XP, 300 stubs, and it's going to make our final boss battle much easier if we win these. Like I said, if you're looking for the quickest way to do it, I actually don't think skipping to the end is the best anymore. I would quit these little moments and just play the mini bosses and then skip to the final boss. So we're going to try them though, Gotta come back from a 1-0 deficit in the 9th against Chapman. So unfortunately we failed that one. We're doing actually really bad on these mini moments. So I guess this is pretty good display for you guys who seem to struggle a lot. I'm struggling too. It's alright. So we are gonna play out these last two. I do think they're worth, and then we'll go on to the final boss battle and I'll give some tips on that one. We win the second to last challenge, we get a run, make it 15-3, and we get a diamond choice. And we land on, it's tough between Mantle and Torres. I'm going to go with Torres for the power. But Mantle is very good against righties as well. And we get another diamond perk. We are going to go with Oppo Taco. And we beat the last moment too, so we made it 15-5. And we're going to get another diamond player. They gave us all pitchers except Adley Rutschman, so we're going to go with him. But we get another diamond player and another diamond perk. So let's go insider info. That's going to pair well with Oppo Taco. So we're going to have inside and outside boost. So now you can see we have 3 diamond perks and our lineup is significantly improved, and we also gained 5 runs. So doing this the slow way helps a ton. I can't stress it enough. If you're struggling, play some of these little moments. You probably won't fail on these mini bosses, so don't be scared and skip the little moments that won't give you much. So before the final boss, we're going to go back into our lineup and make sure this is completely optimized for facing Garrett Cole. So we're looking for stats versus righties. Make sure I'm not missing anyone. Zanino is replaced by Rutschman, who's a little better. Again, doesn't have to be a catcher there, but replace the catcher with the catcher. It's fine. Mancini 74-73 versus righties. We can maybe he's better than Gardner. He's about the same as Shaw, so we'll just stick with Mancini. But as you can see, we got 4 diamonds in the lineup instead of 1, and we still got a gold, and we got the other 3 are silver. So the difference in difficulty doing this the slow way is truly incredible. So let's talk about setting your lineup going into the final boss battle. So this is going to seem kind of weird on the surface, and I'm going to set my lineup as if I had skipped to the end, implying that I only have 1 diamond hitter and 1 gold hitter. So in the very beginning, we drafted Giancarlo Stanton as our gold, and we drafted David Ortiz as our diamond. So assuming those were our only 2 good hitters, here's how you should set your lineup. So I like to put my best hitter lead off, and then I like to put my second best hitter in the 8 hole. Now, in between these, you kind of want to build up, so like every 3rd hitter is like your 3rd best hitter, if that makes sense. Like decent hitter, good hitter, decent hitter, good hitter. It seems pretty weird to put your second best hitter in the 8 hole, but it's actually been super clutch for me. So let me explain this to you guys. The way the math works out with 20 outs remaining down by 15 is that a lot of the time when it was a really close run, like I was 1 or 2 runs away with 1 or 2 outs left, I was at the bottom of my lineup. So that's how the math works out. If you skip right to the end, you're going to end up at the bottom of your lineup in your most clutch situations. So that's why I like putting my second best hitter in the 8 hole, so that if I do come down to the very end, I have someone that I would want up in that situation. So the reasoning behind putting your best hitter first is just to kind of get going, get the pitcher confidence down early, get as many at bats with your best hitter as you can. So let's set this lineup. So our second best hitter is probably Ortiz, and our best hitter is Giambi. So we're going to do it like this. And then we're going to do okay hitter, good hitter, okay hitter, okay hitter, good hitter, and then second best hitter. So that's like that. Remember, in the final boss battle, position doesn't matter. We got Giambi at 3rd, doesn't matter. And you want to have one guy on your bench that can pinch hit. So is Topman better than Gardner? I don't think so. So Gardner is going to be our pinch hitter. You can also look to fill in these other bench spots with pinch runners, and if you think that you'll need them, it really doesn't hurt. I don't have anyone fast here though. 62 speed for Topman, 70 speed for Alfred, so we'll just do that just in case. But let's hop into this final battle and we'll talk about approach and strategy and what you should be trying to do in there. Alright, so we're in here against Garrett Cole. Again, this advice is going to be tailored both for people who skip to the end right away and for people who did the slow way. So let's talk about approach in doing these final boss battles. So first of all, make sure you're playing to your perks if you can. If you skip right to the end, you're only going to have a bronze and a silver perk. But if you have something like Oppo Taco, make sure you're looking for pitches on the outer part of the plate. If you have something like Jump Start, make sure you are looking for good pitches on the first pitch of the at-bat, stuff like that. So play to your perks if you can. But aside from the Jump Start perk, one of the best advice I can give for these boss battles is to just take pitches. They will walk you sometimes. They will fall behind in the count. Taking more pitches will help you become a better player at the show in general. This is like good batting practice, honestly, and you get rewards if you win. Just take more pitches. If you're swinging a lot early, it's not going to help much. Now, the number one goal in these moments is to get the pitcher confidence bar empty as soon as possible. So it's important to get off to a good start. Now, if you get off to a bad start, it's not the worst thing in the world. But the sooner you get their pitcher confidence to empty, the sooner they're going to start throwing stuff right down the middle every single at bat. Now, in general, they do typically give you at least one good pitch to hit every at bat. So the best way to beat this is to make sure you're not wasting any at bats. Every single one of your 20 outs is extremely precious. Make sure to avoid swinging at balls, obviously. Make sure to avoid swinging at pitches on the corner if you can. And the number one way I've been getting out in this mode is by swinging early on away fastballs. So if you're kind of struggling with that in the way that I have, make sure you're trying extra hard to sit back and not pull away pitches with early swings, because if you get on top of the ball, it's going to be a lazy ground out. The number one backbreaker in this entire boss battle is double plays. Double plays are so painful. Most of the time when I've lost these final boss battles, it's because I've grounded into 2 or 3 or 4 double plays with my 20 outs. So it's incredibly important to be mindful if you are in a double play situation, if you have a runner on first that can be forced out with a double play, to make sure you are swinging at good pitches. Make sure you're not swinging at things low in the zone, because even if you square them up low in the zone, sometimes there's still grounders right at someone, and I can't stress enough how bad double plays are. So if you are in a double play situation and you're getting towards the end as well, and you have just a little bit of outs to work with, sometimes it's a good idea to bunt and get yourself out of that double play situation, because double plays just absolutely kill you in this mode. You need to avoid them at all costs if you can. So if you're in a double play situation early, make sure you're swinging at pitches down the middle or up in the zone if you can help it. Obviously, if you have 2 strikes on you, there's not a whole lot you can do. Make sure you're avoiding swinging at pitches on the corners. And then finally, as a last tip, make sure you're playing hyper conservative on the base pass. There's absolutely no reason to take an extra base if you are unsure if you're going to make it there safely, because the inning does not end. You don't gain anything by getting to third base instead of second base unless you are like literally 1 run away from winning, or you absolutely need to stay out of a double play. Those are probably the 2 situations. But make sure, even if there's a sliver of a doubt that you'll make it there safely, just don't go for the extra base. Getting thrown out trying to go for the extra base is just so painful. It's definitely not worth. You can think of it as every time a guy gets on base, he's got a chance to score a run. Because this is a revolving inning, you can't like make a third out and have the inning end. If someone's on base, they are pretty much 1 hit away from getting a run, getting home at some point. So keep those guys on base. Don't get thrown out trying to take the extra base. And with that being said, we're going to dive into this final boss battle. I hope this helped you guys. If you have any additional questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. If you made it this far, please drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're new, you're a real one. I'm going to play it through until I beat this showdown, and then I will end the video. I love all you guys, and I'll see you next time.
To right